everyone. Welcome to our dairy farm tour. My name is Cassi Brunsveld, and I am a dairy farmer as well as the program assistant with AgScape. And it is AgScape and Farm and Food Care Ontario putting on this broadcast today. So welcome everyone. I must say I'm really excited that you're all here. We had over 18,000 students signed up for today. So thank you so much for joining us. And welcome to the farm. I'm just going to turn my camera around here for you so you can see what today. So at our dairy farm, we milk cows. So you can see our big red barn here that the cows live, and outside is where we keep our calves. So here we got a couple of our calves here. Have a few more just down the way. Calves stay outside probably about 2 to 3 days after they have been born. We bring them outside and they have their own little hutch that they get to live in and sleep in and all that good stuff. So these hutches actually are temperature regulated, their body temperature. So you can see, oh, she just stood up to get in your way there. But there you can see that there is some straw in there as well as some wood shavings. So that helps to keep our calves warm and bedded. In the winter time, our calves actually wear coats that go on their back and tie up underneath their belly. So that keeps them nice and extra warm while they're outside winter. But now that it is spring and things are warming up out here, they don't need their coats anymore. So this one's taking a little nap, it looks like. Oh, she woke up. You can see that our calves wear earrings, and this one has 2 pink earrings. So on this side, oh, she's going to turn her head on me. There's a big number at the bottom, so it's 423 at the bottom. So that's the number that calf is. So that's how we know who she is. So on top of her one ear tag, let me just get down here closer. On top of that ear tag, the one side, it says Zeppelin. So that tells who the father is of this calf. And on the other side, we'll see if she'll turn her head. Oh, there she goes. She has the big number again. Up on top is her mother's number. So we know who her parents are. So we can put that in our computer system and keep track of who she is and where she came from. So over here, we feed our calves. These calves up here, they get milk twice a day, and we feed them with a bottle. So sort of like a baby. At first, we need to train them. This bottle's empty, but just to give you an idea, this is their bottle. So at first, when we're training the calves, we hold it for them to teach them how to drink. And then after, once they've been trained up, we can actually stick it down here into that hole there, and the calf will be inside the hut and it can drink the bottle on its own. So then they're all trained up and they don't need our help to drink the bottle like that. I'm just going to turn my camera back around here for a minute for all the back and forth. So a little bit about our calves here at the farm, and you are in luck. We actually just had a calf born about an hour ago. So when we go into the barn, I will give you a look. What year did the Brunsveld start dairy farming? Good question. We started dairy farming in 1967. I myself have only been around the farm since 2017 when I got married to my husband Dirk, and this is his family's dairy farm. So I've only been around for about 4 years, but the farm itself has been around for over 50 years now, which is pretty exciting. So let me turn this here again, and I will show you. So this we call our feed alley. So as you can see, there's feed up here that some of our cows are eating. And the barn is actually empty right now, with the exception of these. These girls are going to have babies in the next week or so. So they are staying in nice and close up to what we call our maternity pen, where they'll have their babies. But the rest of our cows are actually outside right now, out on pasture. So we are an organic dairy farm. So that means that we do send our cows out at pasture. And during grazing months, a third of the food that they need to eat has to be grass. So that's why they're out during the afternoon right now. It's not too hot. They're nice and comfortable. During the summertime, though, when it is really, really hot outside, we do keep inside. And you can see we have all these fans that run along the side of the barn here. That helps to keep them cool. So then we actually put them outside at nighttime in the sun when it's too hot during the day. So here we have some of our feed. So this is what our milking cows eat. So in there we have some hay, we have some corn, we have some soybeans, we have extra vitamins and minerals. Just like most of you probably get vitamins and minerals, our cows get vitamins and minerals as well. So they get a nice fresh mix of feed every single morning, and that's what they get to munch on during the day. So I'm just going to walk you through and show you actually where we store our feed. We have a few different spots, so it'll be throughout the tour that I stop and give you a peek at what we do. Here's our cows again. Hungry girls they are. So you can see this one, going back to those numbers that we've seen on the calves. Right, this one has the dad up there and the mom's number up top there. So that helps us to keep track. So let's go take a look at where we store some of our feed. So we grow all of our own feed ourselves, with the exception of the soys. We do grow our own hay and sorghum and corn, and we actually store our corn in these big bags out here. So these are our corn silage bags, and they're big tubes that get all the corn stuffed in them, and that's how we store it while we are to use it. So you can see it's really, really long. There are some pretty big bags there. And also out here, just a little fact for you. It might be tricky to see. I don't want to get too close because I don't have on the proper gear. But I don't know if you can see it down this hill. There's some black boxes down there. And those are beehives. We actually have some beehives at our farm. And the bees are great for helping with our crops and with our pasture, getting things pollinated. So it's a great to have here on the farm. I would tell you more about it, but I myself am not the beekeeper, so I'm going to let you the experts. We are hoping to have a beekeeping tour in the next couple months, so teachers, keep your eyes and ears peeled for that one, and we can teach about some bees. But today we're just going to talk about the dairy farming. I'm just going to bring you back up into the barn here. And if you have any questions throughout, feel free to ask. And I apologize in advance if I do lose you. I am sort of out in the middle of nowhere, and sometimes cell phone service is spotty. How much food does a cow eat a day? They eat a lot of food in a day. I'm not 100% on the exact amount. I do know, because I had just talked about this the other day, that they drink approximately 200 liters of water a day. So here is our milk house, and this is where we keep our milk. So this big tank we got right here, this holds all of our cow's milk. So it's nice and cold. And this tank holds about 10,000 liters of milk. The milkman comes every other day and picks up and takes it to the processing plant. So I can show you sort of what he does. He is supposed to be coming today, but I'm not sure what time, if we'll still be on here or not. So when the milkman comes, he backs up to the barn, and there is a little chute that goes from the outside through to the inside. Here is where he puts his hose, And this hose would come through here and it would get to the bottom of our bulk tank here. Before he puts the milk, takes it from our tank onto his truck, he does have to run a little test, sure that all is well. And he takes a sample of it that goes to the processing plant, that they can check everything and make sure that everything is good. So that is our big tank here. Like I said, it keeps all of our milk nice and cool. And this is one of our machines that we use to turn on the milking parlor, which I'm going to show you next. So that helps the milk machines turn on, and also helps control the tank here. And actually, I'll go back to this side for a minute. This box right here tells us the temperature. So right now our milk is at 3 degrees, which is perfect. Nice and cool for you. How many times do dairy farmers milk their cows in a day? So we milk our cows twice a day, 4:30 in the morning and around 4:30 in the afternoon, so every 12 hours. And some dairy farmers do milk 3 times a day. We actually used to milk 3 times a day up until about a year ago. And we then switched back down to 2 times a day. How much milk does one cow make in one day? Great question. So that can vary. I'm just going to walk with you here. So that can vary. A lot of it depends on the breed of cow and the food that they eat. Our average right now is about 28 liters per day for a cow. So out here, times a day do you groom the cows? So I will show you that when we get further to the end of the barn. Our cows sort of groom themselves here at the farm. They have little scratching posts and scratchers so I will show you that in just a second. So welcome to our milk parlor. So I have to walk down some stairs here. So this is what we call a swing parlor. This is a 12 swing parlor. So that means that we have 12 of these milk machines. And we can have 12 cows lined up on this side and 12 cows lined up on this side. Right now, I'm actually standing below where the cow would stand. You can see there, it's sort of like I'm a step below. So when the cows are here, I am at eye level or arm level with butter to put the machines on. So a cow has 4 teeth. So the milk machine has 4 little vacuum hoses that we use to put onto the cow, and it automatically holds there, and it will milk the cow. And when the cow is done being milked, it will automatically come off. Every day after every single milking, these machines get disinfected and cleaned, and you can see sit on these little spokes. So those shoot out water and some disinfectant that goes into where the cow's milk goes and gets it all cleaned out. How many minutes does it take to milk a cow? Good question. So again, it sort of depends, but average it takes about 3 to 5 minutes to milk a cow. I'm just gonna put this back on here. And after the milkman comes today, the machines will actually get an extra wash as well as the milk tank. The milk gets washed out every single time the milkman comes also. So if you look up here, there's a whole pipes up here. So this is where the milk travels through these pipes, and they go up, and you can see there's that door, and they actually connect back into the milk parlor and bring the milk right down into the tank. So that is how the milk travels all the way from down here into the other room. So next, I'm going to show you our new baby cow. So, like I said, she was just born about half an hour ago. What breeds of cows are on your farm? We are mainly Holstein cows. We do have a couple of Jerseys, but we are mainly Holsteins. And when we get out to the pasture, I'll show you the difference between the two. So here's a mama and her little baby sort of hiding behind her there. I don't know if you can see her back there. So this little one was born about 2 days ago. So she's just hanging out with her mom during the meantime. And then we have this one over here. This one was just born about 20 minutes ago. And oh, she's hiding. I don't know if you can see her legs just on the other side of her mom over there. But there she is. So that is our new calf. Maybe you guys will have to think of a name for her and send me a message. So this area here is where our cows live when they are not outside on the pasture. So we sort of like to think of our stalls here as the beach. There's lots of sand. The sand is where our cows lay down. And the reason that we do sand is because it doesn't hold bacteria. So that means that our cows won't be getting any sort of infection or bacteria when they're hanging out. Do cows sleep standing up or laying down? Cows sleep laying down, actually. When they're standing up, they're usually eating. Other than that, they are typically laying down, resting, making milk is what they're doing. And when we go out to the pasture, I'm sure we will get to see that for ourselves. Another thing about our barn, this is what we call a free stall barn. So this means that our cows get to walk around freely wherever they want. They can hang out in whatever stall that they choose to hang out in. There is no certain stall for certain cows. They can all walk around. How much does a cow weigh? Cows can weigh a lot. Again, a lot of that depends on the breed of cow. The Holsteins are typically way bigger than Jersey cows are. So anywhere like around 1,400 pounds or so is how much a cow would weigh. Oh, and we have, this is our fence jumper right here. This girl, she tends to get out of where she's supposed to be and likes to do her own thing. So actually she's demonstrating for you the scratching post. So going back to that question about cows being groomed and how often do they get groomed, that is our scratching post right there. So that gives them a nice little scratch, keeps them nice and comfy, gets any dust off, and keeps them happy. Hello, girl. So this is actually a Holstein cow. She'd be a red Holstein, but she doesn't look like your typical red Holstein. That's because the gene that this cow has is what we call a lineback gene. So I don't know if you can see it. She sort of has a white stripe that goes down her spine. And that's how she gets the term a linebacker. So it's like a line down her back. I'm just going to go around you there, girl. Oh, maybe she's going to lead the way for us. So these cows down here are what we call our dry cows. So that means that they are having a dry period before they are going to have babies. So the ones up near the front, they were going to have a baby in about a week or so. These ones have a little bit more time. So a cow is pregnant for 9 months, just like humans, and we stop milking them about 2 months before they are about to have their baby calf, just to give them a break, keep them nice and comfortable. And so this is where they get to hang out. So you can see they're laying down nice and comfy. Someone's doing some tricks over there, trying to show off, it looks like, running up and down. So yes, this is where our cows hang out. How many baby cows are born a year? So here at our farm, we are currently milking over 140 cows. Right now we're at 148, I believe. And this year we are expecting to have about 100 calves, actually. Last year we had 75 heifer calves and a few bull calves. So yeah, about 100 calves. I'm just gonna pull out the fence here and lock it back up so that girl doesn't escape on me. Just bear with me here, guys. So we just do it up with a little chain. What is your favorite cow? Oh, you are in luck. We are going to go meet my favorite cow as we head out to the pasture. And just for the record, her name is Jenny. Jenny is a Jersey and she is a brown cow. And we are going to talk about brown cows in just a minute here. Just need to get this fence post undone. Sorry about that, guys. You know what? This thing is sticking. So we're going to improvise. So all of these white things out here are not marshmallows. They are actually our hay bales. So all of our hay bales get wrapped up individually in white plastic, and we store them outside. So after hay season is done and we get about 3 cuts of hay, this whole area is full of these white wrapped hay bales. So I'm gonna cut one of these open here so you can see what it looks like. So it's all tightly wrapped. So I don't know if you can see that. So that is our hay stored up in there. So it's all nice and tightly wrapped. That way it stays good and doesn't go moldy or anything. I heard a myth, and the myth is, do brown cows make chocolate milk? Oh boy, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but brown cows don't make chocolate milk. Brown cows make white milk. Hopefully I don't break anyone's heart with that. So yes, my brown cow Jenny, she makes white milk, just like the black and white cows. So I'm just going to walk you down to our pasture here, just down the way. So we actually let our cows out. I'm going to turn this around so you guys can see me here, instead of talking to the dirt there. So we actually just let our cows out on Saturday for the first time. So we wait until the pastures are not muddy anymore, when it's not too cold out, when the grass is growing really well, we let the cows out to graze. Our heifer calves, or our heifer cows, they're heifers, so that means that they're still cows, but they just haven't had babies yet. So we call those heifers. They are still in the barn that we have down at the bottom of the hill. We call that our old barn. So they're still down there until the weather is more consistently stable, when we're not going up and down a lot with the temperatures. And once that happens, they will be out on pasture for basically until fall, when it starts to cool off and get muddy again. I've seen a question pop up there. What age do we start milking cows? So our cows, typically you want them to start having calves around 2 years old. So roughly around 2 years is when we are able to start milking those, what we call fresh cows. So a heifer that's had its first baby, we call that a fresh cow. So just walking down here. So how important is technology on a dairy farm? Dairy farm technology is super important. There's a lot that goes to it. Some dairy farms have robots that they use. As I've shown you, our dairy farm doesn't have robots, but it's still a technology that's just not quite as computer automated as the robots. So we have to put on those milk machines ourselves. But there's still computer systems and things involved in that. With all of our farm equipment, there's technology with that, whether it be GPS or anything that has to do with mechanics. We have a computer system where we keep track of all of our information on our cows and on our calves. We use skid steers a lot. There's a lot of different machines that are used. And with certain technologies, they can actually send all of the information to your cell phone. So you can get notifications onto your phone saying, hey, this is what's going on in the barn, or Another thing that we do have here on our farm is we have cameras put up in the ceiling, so that are placed over our calving pen. So we can keep an eye on our cows that are in the calving pen that are going to have their baby soon, just to keep an eye. And if they need help, then we can be out there and we can give them some help. So we are almost at the pasture here. Let me turn this back around. And I don't know if you can see the cows over there. I know that they see me. Do you know how many cows you have? So we are milking 148 cows right now. Between our calves and our heifers, we have over 300 head of cattle. So that's a lot of cows. Hello, girls. All right, I'm just going to see if I can sneak under the gate for a minute without having to undo it, because I don't want them to escape. All righty. Hello, ladies. Cows are very, very curious animals. They tend to wonder what's going on. But I'll see if I can sneak under here. All right. So I can see my Jenny way at the back. I don't know if she's going to make me walk all the way back there. We will see. Does anyone else have any questions so far about our farm? Elijah would like to know how you get the cows from the barn to the pasture. So our cows walk. We have what we call our mule or our gator that we hop on. So the cows walk and we sort of corral them with the mule to make sure that we have them all and drive that around, because if we had to walk to go get the cows, that would take us a really long time. Great question. How long between milking and milk in the store? Another good one. So it is relatively fresh, like I mentioned. The milk gets picked up every other day, and by the time they get it processed and out the door, it would be within a couple days of it being picked up from the farm. So it is not a very long time in between to get the milk from the farm onto your table. And speaking of that, I brought my yogurt container out here to show you. So when you guys are making breakfast, lunch, or dinner, or a snack, and you're looking for something in the fridge that's a dairy product, this right here is what you want to look for. This is the blue cow. So that symbol means that it is 100% Canadian dairy. So that's how you can make sure that maybe it's milk from one of these cows that's ending up on your table. So this cow here is actually a red Holstein. So she sort of has the splotches like the black and white ones, but she's just red instead of black, like this girl. What reusable energy source do you have on your farm? Oh, good question. I totally forgot that. When we walk back up, I will point that out. We have solar panels on our farm. So they are on the roof of our barn, which I will show you on the way back. They span the whole roof of the barn. We don't actually use the energy on our farm here ourselves, but we do have the solar panels here. So that is actually another technology that you can include on what some dairy farms have. So you can see these girls are just sort of hanging out, relaxing. How do you remember all the cows' names? Well, not all of our cows have names. Like I had mentioned, I came to the farm around 2016, 2017. So when I came around, I started naming some of the cows, but there was a lot of cows here before me, so they do not have names. They have numbers. What are some tips for the people on how to grow up and be farmers? Well, that is a really good question. There is so many different ways that you can be a farmer. You can be a dairy farmer, you can be a pig farmer, you can be a chicken farmer, you can be a hobby farmer, which I would describe as someone who sort of has a little bit of everything, maybe a few chickens, a few cows, a few pigs maybe. And I would say if you're interested in it, start to do some research about animals and see what they need to live, and um, what types of housing that they would need, and yeah, just do some research and check it out and see if you can talk to some farmers. I know that there is a lot of you watching today, so if I don't get to your questions, my colleagues are going to put my email address up at the bottom of the screen here near the end. So you are more than welcome to send me your questions about what you want to know about farming. A little fun fact for you. So while I am a dairy farmer now, I actually grew up on a pig farm / a cash crop farm. So that means that we grew crops like corn, wheat, beans, peas, and we would grow those crops. Is it very hard work to be a farmer? It can be very, very hard work. There is some long days and some long nights. I don't know about you, but when we get up at 4:30 to milk the cows in the morning, that can be a pretty early morning, but you do get used to it after a while. And I think it's important to note that when you really love what you do, it doesn't really seem like that hard of work. It is something we're very, very fortunate to be able to do, and we love it. So some days are tougher than others, but overall, we love it. What do calves wear in the winter to stay warm? So our calves wear little coats in the winter time. So as I had shown you in their hutches, they have some straw and some sawdust bedding in there to help them stay warm. But in the winter time, they also wear little coats that do up underneath their belly and wrap around their back and sort of around their tail to keep them nice and cozy warm in the winter. So I'm going to start heading back to the barn so I can show you guys the solar panels. As you can see, that little one was munching on some grass there. The cows are always very, very excited the first day that we let them out into the pasture. It's sort of entertaining. They run and they jump, and they are super excited to come out. What is your favorite part about being a dairy farmer? Oh, that's a tough one, actually. There is so many different things that I love about being a dairy farmer. I really enjoy the cows, and just because they're so curious and they always want to check out what's going on. And I was hoping to show you my Jenny, but she's hiding on me way in the back, and I didn't bring the mule. But like my cow, like Jenny, she when she's in the barn, if I call her name, she will come walking up to me to come find me, and it's really, really cool to see their personalities coming out. One of my main things that I do on the farm here is helping to milk the cows. I don't really go out and do the field work. I'm more in the barn, so it's hands-on, which I really enjoy too. And yeah, that part just really brings me a lot of satisfaction, getting to see sort of the fruits of your labor, I guess you could say. Hello, girl. So she's missing an earring. Sometimes their earrings fall out, so we have a couple that only have one ear tag right now. I don't want to spook them too much. All right, so we are going to head back to the barn. Just let me crawl under here. So I don't know if you can see this. This is a electric fence. So that helps to keep our cows in, and it doesn't hurt them or cause them pain if they get shocked. It's just like feels like a little pinch almost, that they know, okay, I can't cross here, because when the cows get out, that is not fun for anybody. I'm just gonna go under there and crawl under my fence again here. and we will head back up to the barn. Do cows ever get sick? Yep, sometimes cows get sick. I'm just going to turn you back around here. So sometimes cows get sick. We do have the veterinarian come, and if there is a problem, then they can they're like your doctor, that they can give you a medicine for that. And we can give that to the cow. When we do have to use an antibiotic, if a cow is sick, that milk does not go into the tank. That cow gets milked completely separately. And then we actually dump that milk down the drain. So that does not go into the tank. That is not the milk that gets on your grocery store shelves. And that's also why they do that testing. When they take before the milk goes onto the truck, they do a little test just to make sure that everything is good, that there is no antibiotic residue or anything like that. Do you make soil with the manure? So our manure, we do spread it out onto our fields as a fertilizer. So actually they are supposed to come next week to start spreading manure. So that gets spread onto our fields about, depending on how much we have, about 3 to 5 times a year, we spread manure out on the fields as a fertilizer for the crops, and that helps to make the crops grow. Great question. I have a little fly that's buzzing around this phone here. Is there any other questions so far? I'm going to see if I can get you a good view of the solar panels up on the barn. There was a activity page. I don't know if all of you had seen it or not. There was an activity page that we put together with some questions. So if there was anything I missed, be sure to let me know. How many people work at our farm? So it is myself and my husband and my father-in-law, so my husband's dad, and my brother-in-law, so my husband's brother. And we also have a couple hired hands that help us with our milking, and a few other people that help us out in the field during busy season. So when we have everyone and all hands on deck, there is about 6 people that are working on the farm. All right, I think we're at a good spot here that I can show you the solar panels. So I don't know if you can see them up on the roof there. If I get too close, then the angle is not very good. But they're like those black pieces that run all the way along the top there. Those are our solar panels. So they're pretty much the whole length of the barn, except for this little back piece there, but they run all the way up to the front and down. And then inside the barn, we have the boxes that sort of keep track of how much sunlight we're getting and all of those things. And those are techie things that I myself am not very good or familiar with. We'll just head back up here. So as I said, I am more than happy to take any other questions that you may have. If you think of any after the tour today, feel free to send me an email and I would be more than happy to answer those questions for you. So you can see my email there at the bottom of the screen. Just turn this back around one last time, probably, I think. All right. Well, thank you very much, everyone, for joining me on this tour today. Oh, not a problem. Thank you, Shauna. And I hope you all learned a little something about dairy farming and enjoyed seeing the cows. And yeah, if there's anything else that you want to know, be sure to send me an email. I hope you all have a wonderful afternoon. I hope it's sunny for you like it is for me here. And enjoy the fresh air and don't forget to look for the blue cow. Have a good afternoon, everyone. Bye.